And Parker takes a good look to search the track.
Yeah, we can see debris up in turn 4. Actually,
an accident in turn 4, but the accident came after the yellow. And it looks to be Cristiano da Matta.
And Paul, I thought from Vassar's onboard, we actually saw debris come up and over the car as we saw the yellow come on. I thought I saw something flick across the nose there.
And part of the problem may be that Paul Tracy has damage. Looking from Cristiano's onboard.
Coming down through turn 3, you can see the debris. He runs over something. You can hear it on the onboard audio. Snaps him right up into the wall. So I have to believe. There you see the plenum explosion off the back of Paul Tracy's car. That was the debris we saw earlier from Jimmy Vassar's onboard. Catches the right side of Cristiano's car. You can see him run over the bits right here. And when you're on the limit, there is absolutely no wiggle room. These guys are on the ragged edge, and that's all it takes. Puts them hard up into the fence.
And Parker, you had one of those plenum explosions once too.
Oh yeah, I put one over the fence onto the golf course coming off of turn 2 at Indianapolis once, and was deaf for about 24 hours. It's not a pleasant experience.
You said that was about the loudest sound that you ever heard. Paul Tracy had redecorated his helmet green and dollars.
That's okay if they're together on the track, but the more they spread apart, that information isn't going to hold.
Tony Kanaan has an engine go. Kanaan has one let go. And looks like it's going to cause some serious trouble. Cars behind him as the oil sprayed out of that engine, and let's see who's involved. Well, there's Oriol Servia. Heavy damage to that car. Parker, here it is.
Well, we can watch coming through start-finish line. Tony Kanaan right at the head of the picture. When that goes, he puts down a huge spray of oil behind him. And you can see both in avoidance. One car looks like one of the Newman Haas cars, doesn't it? Up to the right side. I'll look at it again here. Tony gets a good draft off Montoya and Castroneves, pulls back up in front. Motor lets go. It looked like Michael Andretti. Haven't been able to confirm that yet, but that's just what it looks like. Whoa. Oh, you can hear the debris.
Oh, boy.
From the onboard audio, 240 plus miles an hour on the way in. See one of the Penske cars that has to be DeFerrin going by on the right side of Blundell, and it is Michael Andretti that was involved early.
Go at Road America at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Has announced.
Oh, big smoke. Oh, and a spin. Castroneves going into 1, into 2. The engine let go. He got in the oil, backed in hard on the outside wall.
So Elio Castroneves, after an incredible run and a pretty good shot, as Montoya suggested, at the win here today, has the engine go. And what does that say about DeFerrin's?
I was watching him coming down into the corner, watching how Moreno and Castroneves were going to work the line. You could see the smoke at the back. The oil hits the rear tires. Castroneves simply a passenger. Big impact, flash fire at the back of the car. Watch it one more time. Moreno running. Castroneves up high. That's not been a problem. It's the oil on the rear tires. They entered there. I guarantee you they've got these cars trimmed out. They were flat out into that first corner, well over 240 miles an hour. As I said earlier, when the engine lets go mid-corner, it's every driver's worst nightmare because all of a sudden you lose the load on the back of the tires. Corner entry is no better, though. Fortunately, he hits at a fairly good angle, the back of the car absorbing the majority of the impact, which is exactly how you want to get in. So you've got all that crushable space, not getting into your survival cell into the cockpit.
An enormous hit for Elio Castroneves, the safety team right there, and they're going to take a little time to make sure he gets out safely. That engine just lit up and slammed the back end almost at right angles into the wall, and that's an awful lot of energy transferring through the components in the back, the gearbox and the engine itself transferring through to the driver. We'll be back. Championship and the $1 million to DeFerrin. We've got a car spinning. A car into the wall.
Tagliani,
he had an engine let go just before it. It looks like the game may be totally over. Tagliani catches the wall. That was after he got around DeFerrin. It looks like Christian Fittipaldi is going to score win number 2 until DeFerrin is going to take the championship. Tagliani's car after this accident that brought out the yellow and ended the race. Rick DeBrule.
Well, the team doesn't have a lot of information. The one thing they were saying is right before it happened, he said, I'm going to win this race. I've got the car. So the situation obviously was going for it. Whether that had anything to do with this or whether it was simply an engine letting go or something else, that's something else.